To the front bench contributions, Dame Harriett Baldwin.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. And this has been a really interesting debate because I think it's brought out on government benches the strategic love of nationalisation for the sake of nationalisation. And I think what we've tried to do in our reasoned amendment is put out a different approach. We also heard very clearly from Reform that they also are in favour of a nationalisation for the sake of nationalisation. And actually what we have in this bill, Madam Deputy Speaker, is something that is neither going to satisfy our camp or their camp, because in fact what we have here is a chaotic, unplanned, non-strategic journey which is ending up burning through taxpayers' money at every stage. We can see that the decisions that the government has taken since it came to power have actually delivered the worst of all possible worlds for this crucial industry. Now, I promised, Madam Deputy Speaker, that I wouldn't take any interventions in the interest of time. We've seen here an emergency intervention. It's one with mounting public costs, and those public costs have no clear limits for the taxpayer. And this legislation is certainly not going to put things on a secure footing. We were told this time last year, when we were brought in on a Saturday for the first time since the Falklands War, that nationalisation was not the plan. And yet the Prime Minister went to China with the Secretary of State and failed to secure a deal for British steel. And so we have this bill. It doesn't resolve any underlying issues. Instead, it just opens the door to an indefinite and infinite bill for the taxpayer. Not only that, Madam Deputy Speaker, but it's got a sunset clause in it, which, would you believe it, can be extended indefinitely. There are far too many unchecked powers in this bill. It doesn't address, as the chair of the Business and Trade Select Committee mentioned, that Britain has the highest energy prices in the developed world. And you can't have an industrial policy for steel unless you have an energy policy for industry. Now, in addition to the chair of the Select Committee, I think we had a very interesting speech from the Liberal Democrat spokesperson about how we could turn this into something that's temporary, emergency, and the path to returning this to the private sector. And then we heard powerful interventions from these benches, from my honourable friend from South Shropshire, my honourable friend from South Northamptonshire, and my honourable friend from Meriden, who spoke up very, very clearly for the businesses in their constituencies that are going to be so badly affected as of the 1st of June with an inflationary 50% tariff on imported steel. So really this afternoon is a chance for ministers to answer some questions. Why were the government unable to strike a deal with the Chinese owners? When exactly did the government decide that nationalisation was the right path? Did they decide it before the Special Measures Act was introduced? And if so, why was the House not told it at the time? Why should the taxpayer, Madam Deputy Speaker, be the one who foots this bill? How is this value for money for the taxpayer? Do we even know what the total cost is to the taxpayer from these ongoing losses, the capital investment and the enormous liabilities? This bill commits the taxpayer to the ownership of an asset that loses hundreds of millions of pounds each year. So what assessment has the Minister made of the chilling impact the measures in this bill will have on other inward investors into the United Kingdom? And what is his exit strategy, if he has one? If the government proposes to nationalise a steel company on the basis that it meets the public interest test, then can the Minister explain how, in the future, that same asset could ever be returned to the private ownership without contradicting their own public interest assessment that it's in the national interest? Or is the reality that once this threshold is crossed, the British taxpayers locked into permanently underwriting a loss-making asset with no timetable for it to return? And why is there no requirement in this bill, Madam Deputy Speaker, for a proper impact or value for money assessment before the Secretary of State exercises the powers? And why have the government not taken us up on our cheap power plan, which addresses one of the root causes of this sector's difficulties? And can the Minister commit urgently? And I think I heard him say it from a sedentary position, but I'd like to hear him say it again, urgently to look at the impact of these 50% steel tariffs on our steel manufacturing sector. So to conclude, Madam Deputy Speaker, this House should not be required this afternoon to sign off on a blank cheque. We cannot and we will not support legislation that appears to be nationalisation in search of a rationale. So I urge all colleagues to support our reasoned amendment.